Hello, and welcome to the Content Polymath. This is the episode about content types and content formats. Now, how you are creating content is really important, but you got to know what you are actually making. And that's what this basic video is about. I want to make this video for the beginners, but I think that even advanced people would probably get a good understanding as to what they should do next if they watch this video. So if you're watching this as a beginner or an extremely well-versed content creator, I think it'll still be helpful for you. So this idea, right, of content types and content formats is very important. You have the written, audio, and video, and then the short, long, and live types of content. So the formats are like what actually way are you creating in content and what are they consuming it through. This is a video and podcast, so right now you might be listening to it and understanding it through the auditory means, or maybe you're watching me do my crazy hand gestures and looking you right in the eye on the video, or perhaps you are reading the blog post that accompanies this particular episode. Now, the way I make this kind of content, I usually make the blog post and the video separately, which means that you should go check out the blog post if you're watching or listening to this, because it's going to show you things differently. But this idea of what are you making? What type of format are you actually creating as a content creator? Do you want to make a podcast? Do you want to make a YouTube channel, a TikTok channel, a live stream, right? Or do you want to write a blog post or newsletter? And maybe you're just a microblogger too, which I don't think necessarily technically counts for the most part, but maybe on certain platforms like Substack Notes or Threads, it makes more of a difference. My point is, depending on the type of content you want to make and what format you want to distribute it, right? That is what this episode is about. And so we also have the types, right? And so you have the long, short, and live. Short being like TikToks and Reels and Shorts or tweets. I'm not calling it Zeets or whatever the X wants to be. Or maybe like Threads or something like that, right? These are short form pieces of content. There isn't necessarily a short form audio platform as of yet, but there is going to be, I think, at some point here soon. I've been talking to some people about it. I know it's going to be around the corner. Not to mention there is like voice notes too. And so there is this dynamic of short versus long. However, I think a lot of creators really underestimate the power of live. Live content can be in all three formats. There used to be a thing as live blogging. Nowadays it's not as common, but that is technically still a thing. And then there's like Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces, which is live audio. And then there's obviously live streaming. So you have the Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and even Substack and TikTok. I've been going live here on Substack, so keep an eye out and subscribe if you're not already, because I've been doing more kind of coaching-esque things with the live streams, and that's what I want to do more of. I would love to do like a paid live coaching thing, but I think for now I'm just gonna make it free. If you come in, I'll answer questions for you. I love talking content, and so I'd be happy to help you with that type of thing. So live streaming is a major avenue nowadays, and I think a lot of creators really underestimate it, especially when you start getting into the strategic aspect of content creation. How are you actually creating your content and distributing it, and more importantly, repurposing it? So for example, I make this video, I cut out the audio, make it into a podcast. Theoretically, I could transcribe it and turn that into a blog post, but I like to write the blog post, so I do it separately. I add a little bit extra work, but that's what I prefer as a creator. And then on top of that, you can cut out the text into quote images, tweets, and perhaps even some other format, something like that. You can maybe even do like text to speech and then make a clip out of it. And then you have the video and audio that you can cut out clips, make audiograms, or more likely make clips using like a tool like Opus Clip. Actually, Substack makes clips for you built into it. They're not the greatest, but the fact that they're there at all is really cool. And so this idea of trickling down your content, right? That is what I wanted to get towards. Now, it doesn't matter where you are starting from, whether you are starting as a writer, a video creator, or a podcaster, or if you're doing live, short, or long. Notice how the triangles intersect there. Everything you are doing falls into one of those two triangles, actually both of those two triangles, and they overlap quite a bit. And so this idea of how you intersect it is your content journey. You start off as a TikToker, okay, short form videos. You start off as a live stream Twitch streamer, right? That's long form video, but it's live stream. So it's more, technically it's the same thing, but it's live. And so that's video. But maybe you're doing Clubhouse, maybe you're on or Twitter. Maybe you're just making content through Twitter and you're only doing Twitter Spaces. Then you're doing live audio, and that is where you start. You start doing more and more spaces. Eventually you make it into a podcast. Okay, cool. Eventually you cut out that stuff, make it into clips, use something like Headliner to make video audiograms. And so there's a way of moving on to the other parts of the triangle no matter where you start. And that is the real key point of this video. Because some of you are very experienced creators. You have been writing for a long time. You've been creating videos for a long time. You've been doing a podcast for a long time, maybe multiple podcasts. But you're like, I don't know how I want to dip my toes onto YouTube. I don't know how I want to dip my toes into TikTok. I probably would suggest not doing TikTok as of yet. Maybe focus on Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts first and then trickle down or syndicate over to TikTok. However, this is a system. That is what the content formats and the content types is about. And that's why I really wanted to make this video, even though I've already kind of made a few on this YouTube channel in the first place. So if you're watching on Substack, I would definitely go recommend checking out the playlist on the YouTube channel because there's a lot more videos explaining this more in depth. And I'll make more content going forward about it too, because I'm really trying to get down to this strategy that I want to give you and the creator equation. And in the next few episodes, we're going to talk more and more about the creator equation. But it is about strategy and automation and how you execute your content creation. When you are creating content and you are making it in some sort of format or some sort of type, you're going to want to repurpose it into the other formats and the other types. You want to be able to distribute it as widely as possible. Make that work 10 times as effective by distributing it differently, repurposing it into other content types. You can start from a blog post or a video or a podcast, and you can reformat it into all three of them. All three can basically go into each other. It's harder to go from text to the other two, but you still can do it, and now there's AI tools to help with it. From there, you have to decide what sort of type or format do you want to do. And so maybe you want to start off with a live stream. This is what Harris Heller talks about a lot. I've mentioned it a few times on this Substack already. Basically, you take this live stream. When you are planning out your live stream ahead of time, you're thinking, okay, here's one topic, two topic, and topic C that you want to make in that video. These are then later on the actual YouTube videos you end up editing down later. From the whole live stream, you can toss it into Opus Clip or another clipping tool and allow yourself to make a whole bunch of shorts from that automatically. Then you could take the audio of the live stream, put it out there if you want to do that, or you can just do the videos and cut that out into audio. And then you can transcribe it and use that as a basis for a blog post. And just from that strategy alone, it takes for a lot of people, maybe they're YouTubers, but they don't really make live stream part of video. Or maybe they don't really do audio or written content yet, but they want to. And so you're a YouTuber who wants to expand beyond what you're already doing. Or maybe you're a Substack writer and you want to learn how to do the other two content formats so you can actually expand your content ecosystem. So by live streaming first, you get the basis of people coming in and actually interacting with you, which can create more content, and they'll ask questions you might not have thought of, which then creates a nice clip. And then you also can record 3 episodes at once, allowing you to kind of batch it ahead of time. And then the actual live stream itself can be repurposed in many ways. And then the videos themselves can then go out. I want to do 3 videos a week. Maybe I'll do this on Sunday, make a live stream, cut out 3 videos, and then have this content already made at the beginning of the week. That's how I should probably be doing it right now, because I want to live stream more, but I don't want to do it too often. I want to make 3 posts a week because I want to accelerate my growth, but daily is too much for people getting notified. And so maybe going forward, that's what I'll do. Now, I don't have much else to say in this particular episode, at least, but I think that you should really consider what I'm trying to tell you today. If you are starting out as a Substack writer or a podcaster or a YouTuber, consider the other types and formats. So maybe you want to do live streaming. Maybe you need to cut out your Substack content into more micro content, bite-sized pieces. So you really need to think about your overall ecosystem and how far you are reaching.